Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the closing bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlett Fu.
To the S&P 500, if I may, 215 names in that average, higher for the Tuesday trade, 286 to the downside. Katie, 2 unchanged.
All right, let's take a look at the sector level. You had 6 sectors finish in the green, 5 in the red. The tech sector actually leading the way here on a points basis, only higher by about 0.2%, but we know it's very important. Energy, in terms of percent, was your biggest gainer on the sector level, consumer staples. Then you take a look at what didn't do too hot today, healthcare bringing up the rear. That sector down about 1%. Industrials and real estate also falling a bit today, Carol.
All right, so let's get to some of the individual gainers in today's session. Got to talk about CVS Health. That one at its highs up more than 5%, finishing the day with about a gain of about 2.25%. Company raised its full-year profit forecast, said earnings would rise in 2026, a sign of hope. As you know, it's not been an easy backdrop, certainly for this company, the retail environment, government scrutiny really across the healthcare industry. Keep in mind, too, that stock is up about 75% year to date. Going to go to Ares Management. At its highs, up 9.4%, finishing the day with a gain of about 7.3%. This after the S&P Dow Jones Indices said the stock will replace Kellanova in the S&P 500. That's effective December 11th. You know what happens? All those index fund managers are going to have to buy it. And so you saw investors certainly moving into that name. And for
but this is, I got to just say, though, too, this is kind of interesting.
It was also a surprise, this one.
Yeah, definitely a surprise, but also the idea, I mean, we talk a lot about private investments, private equity, and private credit, and the idea that this is, to a certain extent, kind of a coming of age, if you will, of the industry writ large, to see a company like Ares basically rise, from 25 years ago of basically being nothing to now today, or at least in a couple of weeks, being in the S&P 500.
Yeah, no, right.
Yeah.
Like quite a journey to see it. What goes in, what goes out really tells a story. And this tells a story. Well, actually, this is just something different I thought I'd throw in there. Mama's Creations, and the ticker is Mama.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I have never heard of this company. It's a $525 million, $552 million market cap company, so it's kind of small.
Are they going into the S&P too?
No. But they're up 28% in today's session.
What does Mama create?
It's like a bunch of brands. I'm not familiar with them. I don't know if you know them.
I see you're really prepared for this here.
Mama Mancini's, Crown One, Creative Salads, the Olive Branch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Salads, soups, other foods.
It's a national deli solutions company.
Delicious.
Yeah, okay. Go
Deli
to their website.
solutions.
Did you know that already, Romaine?
What got into you?
All right, the news. Can I get to it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you may.
I said fiscal third quarter revenue grew 50% from the year ago period, fueled by the acquisition of Crown One Enterprises. So it's been acquiring companies and so.
Bull market and deli meats.
I know.
Yeah.
What could, yeah. Love me some deli.
Go meat.
Food.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some stocks in the red today. Shares of JPMorgan Chase fell 4.7%. Marianne Lake, the CEO of Consumer and Community Banking, said the bank anticipates spending $105 billion next year. This was at an industry conference. She said that outlook surpassed analyst estimates and sent shares falling today. She said the biggest driver of the expected cost growth is, quote, volume and growth-related expenses. She pointed to strategic investments and the structural consequence of inflation. She said consumers and small businesses, though, look healthy, but the environment is a little bit more fragile with less capacity to weather incremental stress. Once again, shares of JPMorgan Chase falling 4.7%. Also, keep an eye on shares of Pfizer today. They dipped just in the 2 o'clock hour, sort of later in the session. This after Bloomberg News reported the FDA is investigating whether COVID-19 vaccines cause deaths in adults as part of a safety review that's broader than was previously known. A spokesperson said, quote, the FDA is doing a thorough investigation across multiple age groups of deaths potentially related to COVID vaccines. Shares of Pfizer falling today by 1.7%.
To COVID vaccines?
Yeah, COVID vaccines.
What's the death rate from COVID?
Wow.
The story does say that scientists, I'm going to get the wording wrong here, but you know what I'm going to say, Romaine, like it's widely considered to be a safe and effective vaccine. So
I hope so. I got a COVID shot a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but look, investors can certainly concerned. We also saw shares of Moderna dip and BioNTech dip as soon as that news broke. Yeah. Finally, GoGo, ticker GoGo US. This is the in-flight Wi-Fi provider.
Yeah. Have they finally gotten that to work better?
No, they haven't. Oh. Well, maybe. I think the thing that investors are concerned about is that Starlink is going to replace GoGo on some flights, specifically some NetJets planes. Have you guys been on a plane with Starlink? I was on a United flight recently. I was just telling Carol.
Yeah.
It was game-changing, completely different than any other in-flight Wi-Fi experience I've experienced.
Yeah, I've not been on one.
It's amazing.
But I've heard everyone.
You can actually get your work done.
Basically, just says it said nothing bad about it. And, we had a big scoop on SpaceX a little bit earlier.
I did, yeah. It's IPO coming next year.
Yeah.
$30 billion. Potentially.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Yeah, Eric Johnson's going to be joining us in just a minute.
Oh, you got Eric Johnson. We got Ed Lillo, but he was just on the telephone for some reason.
We don't have the technology yet.
Let's check in on yields real quick here, too, because we talk about this march higher in yields into a Fed meeting where most people anticipate an actual rate cut. Keep in mind, on your 2-year yield, 7 of the past 10 sessions, including the past 4 straight, we've seen yields move higher. The 10-year, it's been even more extreme to that. And guys, I was going back, looking at every Fed meeting in recent history, trying to find the last time you saw a meaningful ramp up in rates into a meeting where everyone expected rate cuts. And honestly, I gave up after a few years because it was just hard to really find anything to ratify that. Carol.
All right. I want to go to GE Vernova because this stock is popping up about 4% in the after hours. We mentioned boosting a buyback to $10 billion from $6 billion and doubling its dividend to 50 cents. But here's what maybe has caught investors' attention as well. The company getting into the outlook sees 2026 revenue $41 billion to $42 billion. The estimate on the street is $41.54 billion. It also sees 2026 adjusted free cash flow of $4.5 billion to $5 billion. That's way above the street estimate of $3.02 billion, and still sees fiscal year revenue at the high end of $36 to $37 billion. The street estimate is a little bit above that, $37.32 billion, and fiscal. I got through all of that. So anyway, that stock's up about 4.3%. So moving in the aftermarket, guys.
Let's take a look at Cracker Barrel. Totally different story. Shares falling off a cliff right now, down about 13%, reporting that first quarter revenue came in light, just under $800 million. The expectation had been for a hair over $800 million. Then you take a look at some of their comp sales here. First quarter restaurant comp sales declining 4.7%. The estimate had been for a decline of about 4%. Their retail comp sales, because of course, Cracker Barrel has the cute store next to the actual restaurant, those declined 8.5%. The estimate had been for a decline of 6.5%. We've been keeping a close eye on this company after that midsummer logo snafu. They ended up reversing, but clearly still nursing some of the after effects.
What was the snafu again?
They changed the logo from their classic old-timey logo into
old-timer.
Old-timey. Thank you. But
that's what his name is, the old-timer.
The old-timer. Right? I'm sorry.
And they got rid of him?
If he's listening, yes, they got rid of him. They planned a little revamp there. It did not go over well. And you take a look at the year-to-date chart of shares, you can see exactly when they made that decision. And interestingly, the reversal hasn't stopped the decline, and it's certainly extending in the after hours right now.
So that's because of the logo, not because of anything else.
That is the understanding.
So they just had the barrel, right? They got rid of the old timer?
They got rid of the man, the old
and they just had a logo. I mean, just had a barrel, right?
I don't think The criticism was that they took, the personality out of it.
Oh.
Okay.
But
just a logo.
I'm just going to do something briefly on Dave & Buster's. It's lower in the after hours, down by about 5.8%. Comp sales were down 4%. Third quarter loss per share coming in at $1.22. Third quarter entertainment revenue coming in below estimates at $279.4 billion. Third quarter revenue coming in below estimates at $448 million. Dave & Buster's shares down about 5.4%.
GameStop shares also down here after reporting its latest quarterly numbers. Sales growth, no growth. Net sales down about 4.6% on a year-over-year basis, and pretty much that's been the trend now for the last several quarters. A negative sign in terms of that revenue number. Of course, nothing really on the bottom line when it comes to profitability, and the shares for the meme stock, at least right now in the after-hours trade, down about 5%.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.